Hello, this is Music Tech Help Guy, and welcome to episode 6 of my Pro Tools 11 video tutorial series. In this episode, we are going to take a look at some of the lesser tools in Pro Tools that we didn't talk about in the previous video. If you're not already familiar with the Trim tool, the Selector tool, the Grabber tool, and the Smart tool, go back and watch episode 5 because that's where I introduced all 3 of those. Today we're going to be talking again about some of the lesser tools like the Scrubber tool. We'll be talking about the Loop Trim tool, which we didn't talk about in the previous episode, as well as the Zoom tool. In the next video, we'll go over the 3 different secondary grabber tools, and then we'll talk about the pencil tool in another video as well, because there's a bunch of different secondary tools for that one as well. So for today, just Scrubber, Trim Loop, and the Zoom tool. All right, so let's start with the Scrub tool. Scrubbing is a function in the DAW world that allows you to get in and listen to an audition, a clip, independently of other clips in the session, and pinpoint maybe a specific note that you don't like, or a specific word or passage that maybe you want to go in and delete or replace with other material. So it just allows you to go in and pinpoint something in the clip that you don't like. So even if the track isn't soloed, like it isn't here, I just unsoloed it, if you use the Scrub tool, you just click and drag from left to right or right to left, and it'll basically play through that audio forward or backward, and it also solos it, so there's no need to click on it and solo it and then press play to try to pinpoint the part you're looking for. So what I'm going to do is there is a drum hit in here that has a kick and a snare on it, and I just want it to have a snare on it. Let's listen. It's right there. So you can, again, I'm dragging forward to go forward, backward to go backward. This is a kick and snare hit, and I want to replace it with one of these isolated snare hits. So what I'm going to do, now that I've pinpointed it, use my Selector tool, drag over the snare hit, hit Command-C or Control-C in a PC, drag over the one I want to replace, hit Command-V to paste, and now, let me go ahead and solo it. And maybe this last one here can stay a kick and snare. Just this one I didn't want to be kick and snare. So that's just one really simple thing you can do with the Scrub tool. The Scrub tool itself doesn't actually edit the audio. It just lets you get in and pinpoint a specific note or passage of notes that maybe you don't like. It also works on MIDI too. You'll have to excuse me, I don't have much room here for my mouse to drag. So maybe like this note right here. Maybe I wanted to get in here, and again I'm pressing B to separate the clips. Maybe I want to pull that out, bump that over, and maybe pull this over and reorganize it. Maybe I want to change it up a little bit. You can do things like that. So it does work for MIDI as well. And that's all fine. Another way to access the Scrub tool, because it would be kind of annoying to have to go back here and click on it every time just to use it. If you have the Selector tool on and you just press Control, you can press Control to use the Scrub tool as well. So the Control tool just toggles Selector over to the Scrub, and this also works for the Smart tool as well. When you're in the Smart tool mode, at least when you're on audio, it will switch to the Scrub tool. It actually switches to the Pencil tool when you're on MIDI though. All right, so I've got this clip up here the way I want it. This I'm actually gonna undo. I kind of liked it the way it was before. There we go. But this, I'm gonna hold Shift and select all 3 of those clips with my grabber tool. I'm going to hit Shift Option 3 to consolidate the clip, just like I showed you in the previous video, and I'm going to loop out the loop here. let me change my grid from an eighth note to a bar. And one of the things I showed you in the previous video is that you can hold Option with the grabber tool and duplicate the clip to make copies of it. You can also press Command D to duplicate it. Another way to achieve something similar is to actually use the third secondary tool of the trim tool that we didn't talk about, and that's the loop tool. And the loop tool basically just loops out a clip for as long as you want it to go. So it's just yet another way to achieve the same goal as what we had done before. And lastly, the only other tool we haven't talked about other than the secondary hand grabber tools and the pencil tool is the zoom tool. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm just showing it to you for completion's sake, but the zoom tool is basically useless. There's basically two modes. There's normal zoom and single zoom. Normal zoom, when you click, it zooms you in. When you hold Option, it zooms you out. Not a big fan of zooming that way. I'd much rather use the T and R method like I showed you guys in the first video. The single zoom, basically you click, it zooms you in once, and I believe it'll zoom you out once, and then it just jumps you over to whatever the last tool you were using was. So if I was on the grabber tool and I choose single zoom, I zoom in, I zoom once, and then it sends me over to the grabber tool. Honestly, I don't think the single zoom function is really that useful. I mean, if someone knows of a way or a reason why this tool would be more useful than, say, just using T and R, please let me know. But I just wanted to show you that just for basically completion's sake. All right, so in the next video, we're going to start talking about the secondary grabber tools, and after that, I'll go over the pencil tool, and then we'll start talking about some of the other zoom presets, zoom presets, and the more advanced zoom features, and we'll get into the edit modes as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks again for watching.